Yes, sir. So very good morning to each and everyone, to all our viewers of IT Talks. Myself Shivang Sharma and my co-host Sneha Kamalpuria welcomes you all to another exciting episode of IT Talks, episode number 22, on the topic of information security. Today, to our honor, we have Mr. Sujit Apte sir with us, who will be taking us on a journey of information security and helping us what basically information security is and what are the various things that happen in the field of information security. So, very first of all, I would like to welcome Mr. Sujit Apte sir. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time, and you're warmly welcome on Atharva Group of Institutes platform.
Thank you for the opportunity, Shivang and Kamal. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Lal for forwarding my name to as part of this panel. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. So before moving ahead and starting our discussion with what basically every the information security thing is and how it works and everything, I would like to give a introduction to Mr. Sujit Apte, sir. He's a very humble person that he has just given us a few lines of his introduction, wherein I'm pretty much sure he must be having a very vast experience. So, giving you just a short idea about his career, he's a certified ISO leader assessor for 9001 is to 2015 and 27001 is to 2013. Working as ISO consultant, which includes implementations, training, and audits. Also, he has been teaching at varied IT and quality related subjects at different management institutes in Mumbai. Having implementation experience of quality and information security frameworks with at least 10 to 12 medium and small size organizations. That's a really short and really sweet intro of you, sir. But before starting with all the information security topic and understanding what basically information is, I would request you to share a bit of your journey of how you got into information security and what was your motivation behind each and everything.
I should actually thank one of my colleagues for quitting his job midway, and I was pushed into the quality aspect because of him. Since he quit, and the job was thrust onto me, and over a period of time, I picked up the picked up the interest and started working towards it. Got myself certified as an internal auditor first, and then moved on to being a lead assessor. Uh, while working, one of my seniors introduced me to the importance of information and information security, and I mean, those were the smaller things that we need, which we have been learning all throughout our life, right from our childhood. And now we have got a certification. Now we have a framework which actually provides us with an opportunity to safeguard it. That was quite an interesting part, and it did not limit only to our professional or the organizational information that we are talking about. There are certain things which could discipline yourself on a personal front, and hopefully I am making an attempt to implement it across with my in my personal life as well. At the same time, this is a journey that actually helped me. I should, as I said earlier, I'm repeating it, where I said I should thank my colleague for quitting his job halfway through and the job getting thrust onto me, and I'm liking it to the core.
Sure, sir.
Sir,
So, yeah,
yeah, you
yes,
continue.
continue. No, yeah, it's okay. You continue. Not an issue.
Sir, Shivang, the voice is echoing.
Just give me a moment.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, as today's topic is information security, so basically, what actually is information security? Like, what it its features are?
Uh, See, we need to understand that everyone, right from day one, if I have to look at the theoretical definition of information, then we will have to open the statistics textbook. And the first line always says that processed data is information. So for us, gathering any kind of data and then putting it through process is what is going to churn out the information that we are looking at. Now, this information could be professionally used, it could be personal information, and is what that needs to be protected. Why do we need to protect it? Because it is going to cause harm. It can cause an unauthorized access, can cause damage. It can cause loss, not just damage in terms of financial loss, but it could be a loss of reputation. It could be a loss of work, multiple things that are there. And information security is not just pertaining to, we've been always looking at information security at with an aspect towards organizational and professional information, but it implies or it takes a step forward to our personal information and data that has been there, and it has been, that needs to be protected at all given points of time. Is what information security is to prevent. It is not just stopping that instance, but preventing any future unauthorized access, damage, or harm that can be caused to organizations, individuals, or places. And features as such, multiple. As I said, it could be organizational damage, it could be reputational damage, it could be product damage, it could be your damage to your intellectual property. If we are talking about copyrights property, these are all somewhere down the line fringe into a space that we are all constantly talking about, is cyberspace. This information security and cyberspace have become quite synonymous. People have been using terms interchangeably. Actually, if you look at it, cybersecurity and information security are two very distinct areas that you need to have or understand the clear differentiation. Cybersecurity talks about devices. Information security talks about the data, the details that you are going to capture. What are you, how are you going to store them, the procedures that you are going to follow that need to be uh, implemented, and not just by principle or not just by for the sake of doing it, by principle, by heart, and actually following them. Whereas cybersecurity talks about protecting all those devices which have this access to this information. This is the basic differentiation. And I mean, this is quite unknown to maybe not known to a lot of people. It could be a very thin line of differentiation. And it, because of that, just as we often use data and information, these two words very interchangeably, we are using cybersecurity and information security in the same manner to describe or talk about any kind of security that is there.
Sure, sir. So basically, as you wonderfully explained what basically information security is, and it has various impacts on organization level, personal level. Each and every level has its different impact and different. I'm not. I'm pretty much sure that if these attacks or if this kind of things happen, they generally incur loss. There is no profit in those things, or it doesn't help you with any of the things. So, what are the different types of attacks, or what you can say, what are the different types of risk that we are exposed to while we are with the information security? Talking about what are the different type of traps for which people fell for information security? Talking about organization level and on an individual level, I would request you to explain that too.
Okay. As what you talk about, more than challenges, they are the risks that are there. I'll just going back to one of your sentences, Shivang, where you said benefit, the perpetrator benefits. The
Correct.
organization, the victim is the one who is at loss, but the perpetrator thinks that he is going to benefit. And maybe it's a short-term gain that he's looking for. And what is what is observed, one part, I'll come back to the earlier part, but what is observed in the last 1.5 year, when we've been going through this pandemic situation, the lockdown situation, there has been an distinct rise in criminal activities or harmful activities towards information and taking the trust, destroying or damaging the trust of individuals, that has caused a lot of damage. How do people fall to it? I wouldn't always say that the perpetrator is to be blamed. गलती हमसे भी कभी हो जाती है. We are also falling prey to it. We are also, it's been, things have been hammered so much to us that we could fall prey to it. There are certain situations like phishing sites. I'll give you a very classic example. A couple of months back, there was this WhatsApp message which was going around by Tata Motors, that saying that Tata Motors has completed 150 years and it is going to help you get a Tata Motor vehicle and stuff like that. 2021, Tata Motors has already completed 153 years. After 153 years, why do you think Tata Motors is going to come up with such kind of a scheme to say that because we are completing 150 years? I mean, I am not saying people are not reading it, but it is the presence of mind also that needs to be taken care of. We are also falling prey to uh, discounts, schemes, and there are perpetrators who are taking advantage of this. I have got people who are doing spam mails. We talk about spam mails. What are spam mails? We just making an attempt. See, I am going to make an attempt. कोई मिला तो ठीक, नहीं मिला तो कोई problem नहीं. That is what the perpetrator, he has nothing to lose when he is sending you a spam mail. He is sending you a mail that you have won. Coca-Cola is giving you 50,000 pounds. That's a very common mail that has been coming for, I mean, at least I have received it for 4 years. And people keep saying that. And कोई ना कोई तो पकड़ा मिला होगा ना, कि people are sending it over and over a period of time. So these are the kind of things we have wrongly given website details where there are minor changes and they take you to we call it the phishing site. We call it, then we have got data where one of the biggest issues here is the insider working with a particular perpetrator. I mean, you may have the excellent technology, you may have the best of people working with you, but human interaction and an insider job is always going to be a cause of damage. I mean, I don't want to blame anyone, I do not want to pass a judgment, but there has to be a human interaction before the system actually breaks down. And these are the things which actually make a lot of difference when organizations are feeling that pinch, where organizations are implementing so much of money into technology and they fall prey to such kind of scenarios. So these are the areas that are there. Common, I said, denial of service as what they say, email spamming, phishing. Then I have got, now we've got a new scheme which is coming in, cryptocurrency. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but how many of us actually know what cryptocurrency is? Where is it going to go from? But everyone, we have already started seeing advertisements regarding investment into cryptocurrency. We are not very clear. And best part is, in India, it's considered to be a crime. And we're still promoting it. So now you understand where people will go about, and let's take the blame that we are falling prey to it. People are, see, as what they say, brainwashing is not a crime. Getting brainwashed is also a crime. So 50% we are also to be blamed. Arey, discount hai, scheme hai, let's try it out. We are not thinking or we are not giving it a thought कि ये अभी क्यों आया, ये ऐसा क्यों हुआ, is it really true? You will realize this when you are looking at the forwarded messages also that come to you. There are times when people have forwarded messages even without reading them. I'll give you, I mean, a very ridiculous example. 3 years ago, I have received messages from people saying that actress Sonali Bendre is no more. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. And where was it printed? It was printed in it's coming to press. I said, which paper is this? I just asked the person who had forwarded. It says it's some obscure paper which says she was being treated for cancer and now it's that she is no more. And poor lady has to go about saying that Guys, I am still hale and hearty. Please don't do that to me. So spreading such kind of rumors, Chinese whispers, we used to call it Chinese whispers. Now we are using technology to do Chinese whispers. We are not even verifying it. So these are also areas where we are going to cause damage. We are going to have risk to it. Using open Wi-Fi. अरे Wi-Fi है, available Wi-Fi है. But what is the chance that we are also giving our data? I am so excited to go on a vacation that I start clicking photographs with my family at the airport. And not just click photographs, I start posting them on my social website. Going on a vacation with my family. Everything under lock and key. When you come back, the house is cleaned with sanitization. I mean, you think people, I mean, perpetrators have become intelligent themselves. They have started observing. पहले informers होते थे, पहले खबरी होते थे पुलिस के लिए क्या, सबके लिए खबरी होते थे. आज खुद खबरों ज़्यादातर, you don't need informers. You are giving your information yourself. What are you doing? Remember, there is a joke which has been circulated in the last couple of days. There are dacoits who come into a family's house and they ask that lady to hand over the 1.5 lakh mobile phone, the jewelry and all those things. And she says, how do you know all this? He says, ma'am, we are your Facebook friends and you've been posting all this onto the Facebook page. So now you understand what is happening. Let's not only point a finger at someone else. Somewhere down the line, let's accept that we are also at fault. Is what my opinion is. I am not saying it that it has to be right or wrong, but this is what my observation is. Unless and until we give our a chance, we open the door, no one is going to enter it.
Yes, sir, very well said. And as you said, 50% is ours to blame. It is our fault. So, sir, but there are many people that don't have such knowledge about how they can, uh, how they can safely secure their information and data, and how to actually do it. So, what are the initiative taken by government to educate these people on information security?
Thank you very much, Kamal, for coming up with this question. It is something a point of concern. Well, and concern, as what you said, that there are a lot of people who don't know what to do. There are no people who don't know what kind of precautions to be taken. But the government, the banks, the institutions have been issuing reminders. See, remember, we see a mutual fund ad today, and then we say that it is subject to market price and all those things. The disclaimer comes in. It was not there. If you have realized that they have started marketing about that some games that are there that are to be played on the internet, and then says, and on top of that they say that it could be an addictive scenario and a gambling kind of a situation, so play it at your own risk. So why are you promoting it? So they're promoting gambling in one way, and then they're saying that you need to. I agree to what you are saying. Is what is the government taking? Government has been issuing notices. Please do not. Will you leave your house keys under the doormat and say that my house key is, I am not at home and I am going to leave the key to my door is under the mat outside my house? Do you put your, I mean, you are in college right now, and it's going to be a couple of months or maybe couple of days when you start working and you receive your first salary. Are you going to post your salary slip on the notice board? You're not. You're not. You don't share your offer letter with everyone, every person that you come across. You can pick up that offer letter, carry it straight home, show it to your parents, consult them, and it goes under lock and key. So why is this detail constantly, when the banks are constantly saying that if you have an internet password, don't share your passwords. If you are using mobile phones or mobile banking, Do not share your logins and passwords over there. Do not click on unnecessary links. There are organizations, different shows which says that don't fall prey to scenarios where, and we, I'm saying the word we in the literal sense. WE in capitals, underline, bold. We Indians are very good at following instructions. I am a taxpayer, then how can someone say that I am not supposed to do this? The government is saying, don't do this, I will do it. I have to do it. And then I will blame or I will conveniently say that they never told me this. अरे भाई, अगर तुम करने की सोच सकते हो तो ना करने के लिए भी सोचो ना. Why do I need a person like Amitabh Bachchan to be standing in front of the television, through the television, and telling me the RBI is telling me to not click on unnecessary sites? The government has also been telling this even before Amitabh Bachchan came in. Unless and until I've been instructed by someone who is going to make an influence, I mean, lawmakers don't make an influence is the simple scenario for us. I mean, I need Amitabh Bachchan to tell me that the RBI has said that do not click on unnecessary links, do not share your passwords to your mobile phones. Is there. The second part to your question, Kamal, is that the people who are falling prey to this could be people from the earlier generation who are not very comfortable using the internet and mobile banking, those kind of scenarios. And maybe the generation who is comfortable is not comfortable communicating to the older generation. We are not taking it as a social responsibility to help them that do not or avoid getting into such kind of activities which can cause damage to you. The government is taking its own precautions, but we as individuals need to take a step forward, help. Maybe I'm not asking you to open a stall and open a shop and start giving instructions. I don't think, and none of them is going to like you doing that, but it could be smaller inputs that you could give it to your own family members. They could discuss it among themselves. Once they are convinced, you are able to explain it to them, they would be able to do it comfortably and they would suggest it to people. It works that way. The generation that we are talking about who are falling prey to it are the ones who are not comfortable with technology. Are areas where they are, I mean, we don't expect to know everything and anything. So let's try and learn and listen from someone who knows what it is. Ask queries. We do not want to ask questions. We feel generations over, sometimes we have this problem. अगर पूछूं तो मेरे पे हंसेंगे लोग. अरे पर नहीं पूछोगे तो डैमेज भी हो सकता है ना. पूछने दो ना, एक बार हंसेंगे, दो बार हंसेंगे, पर at least your damage is reduced, is what we are looking at. So how do I help? Two ways. Government is doing their job by making you aware of the different scenarios. I am saying that let's take a step forward individually and maybe help someone to avoid getting into falling prey or not, who is not comfortable using technology. That's one social binding that you could possibly think of. I hope I am able to give you a better insight.
Sure, sir. So, very first things I would like to tell you that the co-host with her name is Sneha, and
I'm sorry,
you were pronouncing her by her surname, and that was also a bit mispronounced. And secondly, sir, as you told that we Indians are very good at we Indians are very good at following instruction. Now, there was an instance at my school wherein our teacher also explained as the same that अगर एक board लगा ना जहाँ पे लिखा है कि please don't throw garbage over here. We become an Olympic thrower and we definitely throw the garbage over there and tell कहाँ लिखा है, लिखा तो है ही नहीं, कहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं है वहाँ पे.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I have a similar instance. Do not spit here. It is written on a board. It is written at an eye where generally people will be able to read it. And you will not believe people have stood across and made sure that they can spit on that board itself. whether it is after eating a pan or without eating a pan, but they have competitions. I have seen people compete with each other to see if I can spit on that board itself. I mean, it's right or wrong. See, it's information. Why was it told, and we are misusing it in a way.
So, sir, as previously you gave an example of for an individual that there was information which was circulated that actress Sonali Bendre was no more, or there was this information where Coca-Cola was giving you 50,000 pounds. So these are something which these are some instances which happen basically on individual level. I would request you to give some examples for organization level. How do organizations, basically small organization, well-established organization, don't fill for these kind of traps, but this small group of people who are just starting with the business, they tend to fall for such offers because they are looking for rapid growth. So can you just guide us with few examples?
Uh, See, first and foremost, cyber security can strike anyone. I mean, if we are talking about cyber crimes, it can happen to anyone, whether it is individual or a organization. Two, as an organizational, when you're implementing any kind of information security, you want your data to be secure, then there are certain facts that you need to, if you're going to observe some kind of standards, you're going to follow some kind of framework which is there, which is going to secure your data and your information, which includes even your employees. Let me tell you this. In a normal scenario is that background checks with your employees. See, when you're joining an organization, people may feel, "Arey, background check क्यों चाहिए? क्या मैं गलत information देना?" It is not गलत information. It is just to be on the safer side. Okay, organizations who are startups can only think of how I can secure a data. Simple scenarios is putting up passwords and not writing those passwords on your desktop, or rather whiteboards and your notice board. You are not supposed to share them. We have come across, while when we do implementations or when we do audits, organization employees generally are, अरे मैं आने वाला नहीं हूँ, मेरा मशीन को ये मेल भेजना है, the data is there, password is written under the keyboard. Excellent. Employee, colleague takes the password. Okay, he has sent the mail as or completed the data as requested. After I come back the next day, I don't change my password. कौन change करेगा? These are normal things. Companies have had to put instructions or policies where you have to deliberately change your password after 90 days. Don't we do that? Don't we, अगर mobile phone गुम हो गया, so don't we go and do an FIR? We block the SIM card, we block all those things, but we do not change the password for our desktop which is given at the organization, because the company has set the policy. I'm going to wait till that reminder comes in. Damage is in this small sense also, Shivang. It need not always be falling prey to it. We are copying data. Phone पे, अरे we are recruiting 50 people for a new project that we have received. ये bus stop पे बात करने का जगह नहीं है भाई. People start thinking, what is the organization doing? Why has the organization suddenly started? See, this is information that we got a new project. You have to scream it at the bus stop and say, no, you don't have to scream at the bus stop and say this. You do not need to take printouts of your salary slip and leave them unattended. These are small things. Visitors who are sitting in your visiting area, maybe there is no one there and there is a visitor who is there. How many of us as an employee, a responsible employee, has ever gone and asked the visitor that the person whom you are visiting, does he know that you are here? You are sitting all by yourself. We don't ask him, अरे मेरे लिए नहीं ना मिलने आया तो छोड़ो ना, क्या problem है? But if that मेरे लिए नहीं मिलने वाला बंदा अंदर आके टेबल पे रखा हुआ कुछ लेके गया, गलती से मेरा लैपटॉप, मेरा मोबाइल ही लेके गया, मेरा पर्स पड़ा है, पर्स लेके गया, हाँ सीसीटीवी कैमरा है ना, तो वो सीसीटीवी कैमरा का मेंटेनेंस भी होना चाहिए ना भाई. We have come across situations that the CCTV, the camera is there, चलता है, नहीं सर खराब हो गया 2 महीने से. What happens? This is at information security at organizational level. It is not just the policies that I have said, but actually also making sure my devices are working properly and my policies are and procedures are followed diligently. Sign the visitor's muster. Give your sign a given out time. Give your gate pass which is there. These are instructions. I mean, I'll give you a very classic scenario about a gate pass when it comes to an organization. I have come to meet Shivang, and Shivang says, Sujit, you go and speak to Sneha. She is the right person who will be able to help you. Okay, when I created the gate pass in my when I was entering the organization, the person I am visiting says Shivang Sharma. And on the way out, I am getting a signature from Sneha. Now, whom am I meeting actually? Shivang is not there, or Shivang has asked Sneha to be there. Sign it. So we have to, the security guard never checks it. हाँ sign है ना, visitor का sign है ना, छोड़ो. और वो किसके लिए गया था वहां पे, क्यों गया था वहां पे, जिसको मिलने, जिसका नाम लिखा था उसको मिला कि नहीं, या विजिटर का नाम, पर्सन टू मीट के जगह पे स्नेहा का नाम लिखा है क्या, हैज द करेक्शन बीन मेड. See, these are small things. Tomorrow you may not be in office and I still say security वाले को मालूम नहीं है शिवांग है कि नहीं ऑफिस में. I say I want to meet Shivang Sharma and walk into the office. मेरे को तो गेट पास मिल गया ना. पिछली बार भी स्नेहा ने साइन किया, एक्सेप्ट हो गया था. मैं ये बार भी जाके स्नेहा से साइन करके गेट पास से निकल जाता हूँ. So these are small things which I am talking at the organizational level and have to be diligently followed. There are organizations who are taking an effort to ensure that such lapses are not there. But there are also organizations where you come across that such kind, and these are, see, we have this habit of saying, "Arey chota mota hai na." See, smaller things when they happen multiple times, they become a bigger problem, is what the caution is. Yeah, Shivang, I hope I have been able to answer your.
Exactly, sir. And last line definitely reminds me of one of the sayings in Hindi that "boon boon se sagar banta hai."
Exactly. Very well said. Very well said.
So, Sneha, you can continue with your question.
Sir, you very well explained how an organization should keep in check with information security, and these are the things that it should do from the beginning to be on the safer side from the starting, because major big organizations are already working on it. So a small scale organization, if it wants to stay away from the frauds and everything like this, so they have to do it from the beginning itself to be on the safer side. So what are the major precautions that an individual should take to be safe from the attacks of information security?
Primarily, don't take any calls from people unless and until you are sure about it that the person is, you are known to the person or you know the person. Two, do not click on any kind of links that are being given left, right, and center to you on our WhatsApp. I mean, we are a technology-based scenario right now. We rely on technology right from the minute we open our eyes in the morning. Even our alarm clocks, we don't have alarm clocks now. We have got alarms set on our mobile phones. So that is where we actually start off from. Please do not click any kind of sites. Do not inform if you have been getting any kind of emails which are not supposed to come to you. Inform your IT administrator, that inform your system administrator that there are links that are coming in or there are mails which are coming in. They will take their necessary actions. There could be, I'm not saying that they are 100%, or they would be able to clip it 100%, but they will at least take the efforts unless and until you bring them to their notice. Stop forwarding any kind of offers. Verify those offers, verify those messages, and then forward them, because unverified data, unverified messages can create enough havoc. इतना गर्दी है कि ब्रिज टूट सकता है. Please understand the statement that I'm making. इतना गर्दी है कि ब्रिज टूट सकता है. By the time it reached 10 steps ahead, bridge टूट गया है. And that is exactly what must have happened. I'm sure that would have exactly, is my feeling, what must have happened at Elphinstone station a couple of years ago when there was a major stampede and a lot of people lost their lives. We are not even ready to listen, ready to completely understand. Precautions, as what he says, do not click on anything that is there. Do not entertain phone calls. Do not entertain messages. This is one of the basic things that I remember as a child, we were always told, do not talk to strangers. Today, we have got maximum strangers on our Facebook list. फ्रेंड का फ्रेंड है, म्यूचुअल फ्रेंड्स कौन कौन है, चलो हाँ एक्सेप्ट कर दो. I mean, what? I am sorry to say that we often fall prey to such. There are instances where people are falling prey to such kind of scenarios. So let's not get into or put a self restraint is the best thing that I would say. हाँ, like one of my friends had always said कि हाँ तुम्हारे मोबाइल पे मिस कॉल आया है, सब काम दाम छोड़ के तुम वो मिस कॉल को रिप्लाई करने के पीछे मत लगो. If the person really wants to get in touch with you, he may drop a message saying that it is urgent, please call back, or he may call back again. There are scenarios where people are, they may call you for, you see a number, अरे किसका नंबर है यार, शायद किसी recruiter का नंबर है. I'm giving you a very classic example which will happen with the management students now going forward. When you start, you're into a job, maybe in a year and a half, when you've worked in, and then you have recruiters and headhunters giving you a call that would you be interested in switching jobs? Would you be interested in looking at? And we may fall into such scenarios. Two, there have been a lot of cases that have been reported where people are asking you to pay money for your jobs, for getting a job. Please avoid such kind of details. Such kind of messages are not healthy for you. They are not healthy for your hard-earned money. So self-restraint, Sneha, Shivang, is the basic principle. Should be the motto that you follow when you're using technology and doing such kind of areas. Sneha, I hope I have been able to answer your.
Yes, sir. Over to you, Shivang.
Yes, so before moving ahead with our questions, we have some comments over here. So there's a comment from Ganesh Kulkarni sir, wherein he says that it's a very informative talk. Almost daily there is a fraudulent mails, text, etc. popping in, and it's really very difficult in times to know is it its reliable source unless we click on reply if it's an email and click the sender's ID to verify. But I wonder as to how many would be really knowing that phishing mails, as you rightly stated. Also, please suggest as to how to plug these leakages. I guess that was the same question which Sneha asked currently, that how can you avoid being getting into this
Falling prey to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Kulkarni, it's a nice way that how will I know and how can I? It's something as what I said. Born with a generation that don't believe strangers. I mean, I come from an age where having a landline was itself a luxury, and in such a situation, we were not allowed to talk to strangers in the first place. Yes, I agree with the mails that come in. There could be offers that are there, and I would still say that there is no way that I can actually, because what has happened now is that people have been sending mails with concrete names. As I said, perpetrators are also becoming intelligent. They are becoming net savvy. They are becoming technology savvy, and they have been finding ways to lure victims. And in such situations, I would, as an individual, if you're looking at on an individual basis, I would say refrain yourself from doing it unless and until don't entertain. Right? Believe me, don't entertain such kind of phone calls, mails, or even messages. And then professional area in an organization, the first thing that you do is do not reply, click on the reply button, report it to your system administrator that there are such kind of spam mails coming in from so and so email ID, which can be blocked. The email addresses could be blocked, just as you block or the IP addresses. This was a scenario which a lot of organizations used to do. Rediff Bowl was a chat room. Yahoo Chat was there. We had Gtalk, and there was a time when people used to block it. Think that they had blocked it by blocking the DNS, domain name service, and then perpetrators, as I said, which were generally employees who were a little smarter. They used to identify the IP address and enter into that site using the IP address. They used to type the IP address in the URL. So then the system administrator got a little smarter. He blocked the IP address also. Then they came up with a system where there was one common IP address and all 4 chat rooms could be available. So see, people are going to find ways and means of pull you into those acts, and it is just how well aware are you going to be, or how well aware is someone, or the awareness that is being created for you to avoid getting into such a. I hope, Mr. Kulkarni, I can do justice with your to your question and your query.
Uh,
So
yes, sir. So on that point where you said that they sent mails with a very concrete name, that you tend to believe that obviously this might be very true. So he has commented that exactly even they create fake identical email IDs of the bank.
yes, 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 yes.
Also, there is one more question from again Ganesh sir itself. He says that fraudsters have now started calling using the country code of India followed by identical mobile numbers or landline numbers with the STD codes, for example 022, 011, etc. Unlike Android, iPhone doesn't pop up Truecaller, and many times I need to copy paste the numbers on Truecaller and find out who it was. So, any advices on such fraudulent Indian numbers? Because even I also would like to add on this that even if you copy the number on Truecaller, we can't completely rely on Truecaller, because Truecaller shows the number which is being entered by the user. If my name is Shivang Sharma, and if me and my some of my friends enter the name Shivang Sharma, it will pop up everywhere that this person calling you is Shivang Sharma, and you may be reliant on that. So how do you? What are your advices on such fraudulent Indian numbers?
Uh, I mean, one of the common activities, as Mr. Kulkarni has also said, is LIC पे से ऐसा बहुत फोन आता है. LIC तुमको पैसा देने वाला है. These are the schemes that LIC comes up with. And LIC का vigilance team calls you up saying that there is money which the LIC has to pay you, so give your account number. Believe it or not, call up your agent. Actually, do not entertain. Mr. Kulkarni, I'm again repeating the same thing. Please do not entertain such calls. I know it may sound a little harsh, that it could be an important call. Yes, I completely agree to you that it could be an important call. But as I said, I would say I was enlightened by my friend that don't rush into calling back. If the person really wants to talk to you, he will either send you a message saying that, Sujit, please call me. It is urgent, need to speak to you. Or he would call you back, and then you could possibly verify. That is the only way that I can, because the numbers, they keep changing numbers. The best part is that the perpetrators have also started changing numbers very frequently. So you cannot track down that this number is right or wrong. And again, perpetrators, I also keep getting calls where it says XYZ, and then it shows as spam. Bajaj Finance, and then it shows as spam. I actually feel sad for Bajaj Finance or any other financial company who really wants to possibly call up a prospective customer, but it shows as spam, and the names have been registered over there and on Truecaller. As for the Androids, or rather the iPhones, I think yes, it's a little workaround, but take the effort of verifying whether it is actually a genuine number or not. That will at least give you peace of mind. More than anything else, it is just the peace of mind that you have, and you will put a lot of things to rest. That's the best thing that you could ever do. I mean,
Sure,
yes,
sir.
it's a workaround. Yes, it is a workaround, and I completely agree. कि कितनी बार करने का, sir, छोड़ दो. These people are relentless because they think that if I keep doing it 10 times, 11th time, this person is going to fall prey to me. They are relentless. Maybe that is what their job is. They are getting paid to do these kind of activities. So avoid getting into falling prey to it. And it would surely have complete peace of mind to you. You would have a good night's sleep after doing that workaround.
Sure, sir. And similar to that, Shobhi ma'am has also said that basically the answer is to this problem itself is the discipline and honesty. You need to be you need to be disciplined with whatever you are doing, because we are
Yes,
being taped every microsecond. So, and what we do is we do not rely on information. What we do is we reply immediately to each and everything. So
correct.
we need to be careful about that. Over to you, Sneha.
Sir, very well answered the question. So you very well answered the questions of Ganesh sir, and as you explained us how a person can take precautions before getting attacked to avoid the attack, but how what are the things that can be done after a person is attacked? Like nobody knows that. We can take precautions,
Okay.
we can try everything, but if ever we get attacked, and we majorly don't know what steps to be taken after that. So can you
Okay.
please show some light?
Yes. It's a very common thing. We do not want to visit the police station. I mean, it is a way. It may be, I may be sounding a very rude statement, but this is a fact. उधर जाके क्या होने वाला है? कुछ काम करने वाले हैं क्या उन लोग? Is what our thought process is. Believe me and trust me, they are working. They are themselves are taking efforts. I mean, they are also short at hand. They are also, I mean, they are doing their best of efforts, or else we wouldn't have so many cases of at least being identified that there are such things happening. Let's accept it. First and foremost, if you have got attacked by any kind of scenarios, block, 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 block your SIM cards, block, change all your passwords that are possibly available with you. To get up and go to your nearest police station. The nearest police station is going to direct you to the BKC cyber cell. And believe me, cyber cell officers are helpful. They will surely listen to you. I am saying this in bold capital letters. They will surely listen. Yes, there have been instances where people are not being entertained or people are not being heard of, but with the increase in the kind of scenarios that are happening, increase in the uh, antisocial activities that are happening, they themselves are overworked. They are also working around the clock to help ensure that these activities are cramped down. I mean, we have an instance where a girl lost a substantial amount of money on paying it to some for an Irish university. If you must have read the newspapers, this was a very common, it was on page 3 and one of the bigger news items, that a girl lost a substantial amount of money by clicking on the wrong website, and paid some X amount of money for getting an admission in an Irish university. And when she realized that it was a fraudulent activity, she did report this to the cyber cell at BKC, and they went about investigating. They got in touch with the concerned authorities. They traced the transaction links, and she has been able to recover some amount of that money that she had lost. So believe me, there are people who are working for you, and they are trying to help you as much as you can. But unless and until we come forward, we need to inform them at least. At least the least that we can do is, sir, ye aisa ho raha hai. They are not God. They are not going to know that it has happened with Sujit Apte, it has happened with Shivang, or it has happened with Dr. Lal. They are not going to be they are not antennas. They need to be told that such and such a crime has happened, or such and such a fraudulent activity has happened. And please, yeah, whatever the problem is, because yes, we right now have only one cyber cell available, as what they're saying. They are in the process, and the proposal to create more number of cyber cells or cyber unit police stations, not cyber cells, but cyber police stations in 4 different zones. The Bombay police sites will help you with a lot of details. And I again repeat, we don't like to visit them. No, ideally, no one should be able to visit or needs to visit them, but they are a friendly lot. They are like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You actually should visit them once if in trouble. Keep them informed and they will help you with the required precautions. First and foremost, change all your passwords, block your numbers, block your SIM cards, block your credit cards wherever the fraudulent activities are. Inform the authorities that are involved in which have got affected because of that. Take that activity as priority. Pick yourself up from the chair that you're sitting and go to the police station. Believe me, it is going to help. And they have got competent resources. They are using the state-of-the-art technology and they're trying their best. But unless and until you inform them, they will not be able to enhance their services that are available with them. Yeah, which they are offering. Sneha, I hope I'm be able to answer this.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir. So basically, sir, as you mentioned that people over there in the police station are there to help you out. Until unless you don't tell them, they won't be aware of what the problem you're facing. And a major problem which I think with us as an citizen is we don't tell our problems and then we expect people to understand what we are facing. It's
See,
not possible.
no, Shivang, there is another thing is that we have got a peer pressure. We have got what do you call it? Socially being mocked. That अरे इसका पैसा गया है, इसका ऐसा ऐसा फोटो छपा है, अरे भाई तुम्हारा. And one of the classic things that we, again I come back as we Indians, जब तक मेरे साथ नहीं होता ना तभी वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. My security is perfect till the point my security is broken down. I'm putting it into quotes when I'm saying that. I am perfect till अरे उसने बराबर ये नहीं किया, उसने ये किया, उसने. It is very easy to point. Put yourself into that. आज उसके साथ हुआ है, कल तुम्हारे साथ होने के लिए टाइम नहीं लगेगा. And this is where the social and peer pressures or social mockery and peer pressures often restrict people from going and informing the police station or the authorities. Again, that question which Sneha asked me, people who are not comfortable with technology have fallen prey to it. क्या करेंगे? एक हार्ड अर्न्ड मनी 4 लाख रुपया गया, किधर मैंने वो लिंक पे क्लिक किया था, अगर ये जाके पुलिस स्टेशन में बोलूं तो लोग मेरे पे हंसेंगे, इतना तुमको इतना समझ में नहीं आता है, उधर क्लिक नहीं करेंगे. अरे भाई इतना समझ में आता तो तुम्हारे मेरा होता था क्या प्रॉब्लम? See, we have got, if you look at the newspapers, educated, literate people are also falling prey to it. We have got doctors, chartered accountants, engineers who have also fallen prey to such problems. But you need to come forward again, is what I'm again repeating, Shivang, what you started off with. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir. So basically, there's one more question in comment section from Swapnil More. He has asked, why is there provision to change IP address if it is not ethical and we know someone can misuse it?
Provision to change IP address.
Yes, that is what it is mentioned, that provision to change.
If you could ask what exactly is he, what does he mean by change? I said, if it is not ethically, I can change an IP address. When you're buying a new phone, the device IMEI also changes. People are alternating the IMEI numbers also. I mean, I am taking a new domain service. If I take a new domain service with a new IP address, what happens? Can I stop you from buying a new IP address? I cannot stop you. See, there are certain areas where we have, the government also is restricted over. I may buy 10 IP addresses for myself. I may not use them all together at the same time. I cannot stop. Can I stop you? I mean, even Swapnil may agree to this, that I cannot stop myself from buying an IP address. or a domain service if I look at it. Can I stop you from buying a new mobile phone? No, you cannot. And that is exactly what happens. If I change my device, see, if you if you change your mobile device and you go back to your old school college or school group, which is on WhatsApp, it somewhere one of your messages has changed the device or has changed the number, is what is again flashed. Swapnil, am I ethical? Ethics is something which let's not touch on it, because it has got a very different meaning for each and every individual that we are looking at. Swapnil, so Shivang, if you can check with Swapnil if he's
Sure, sure. If there are further comments from Swapnil, I will definitely help
yeah,
you out.
please do,
Over to you,
please do.
Sneha.
Sir, in the beginning, you just gave a brief about what is the difference between cyber security and information security. So I would request you to just throw some more light on it.
Okay. Cybersecurity is talking about all kind of electronic devices which can access information. So information is basically the data that you're looking at. After processing that data, what you get, you turn out as information. Is information becomes the primary unit, and that can cause damage. That is something which is very, very, very critical. So how do I lay hands on that critical asset? Is either through devices or either by speaking to people. So cybersecurity looks at the devices, penetrating those devices which can get me to that information, is what I'm talking about. We are talking about um a very simple instance I'll give you. I was at a restaurant with my friends, and he has a television. The restaurant had a television where there was a particular program which was going on, and there was another group of people who were sitting next to me, and one of those individuals was fiddling with the channels of the television through his mobile phone. Now accessing, that's one of the innovative things that has come in IoT that we are talking about. It's accessing those devices which are electronically or IP addressed, microchipped access, which is there. The devices can be, you're using a Bluetooth, you're using a different technology, and then you have access to that device because the device is not protected by any passwords. Why would a television, your question is, why should I have a password for the Wi-Fi connectivity or the IP address to access Bluetooth? Using the Bluetooth technology, why should I have access to a television in the restaurant? But then there are people who are having fun changing that. Now if they can do it with a television in a restaurant, can they do that with a television in the at your place? How many of y'all have got, or how many of us have got a password for the smart television that we have at our home? Most of us, maybe none of us have it, because we don't think it in those terms. We have not possibly thought it in those terms. So cybersecurity is accessing any electronic device that is there. There is a device called as Bungle Baby, which is a camera that is being promoted. It's a product. It's a camera on maybe a small toy or something like that, which is basically kept to keep a watch on a small child. But do you know that at the IP address of that camera is accessible outside? It cannot be protected. It cannot be blocked. So perpetrators can easily identify it even standing outside your house and may be able to access that IP address. And just as he can add, if he can access that small device, that camera could roll up and start looking at your other data, other locations in the house. And I can watch those things on my mobile phone. The pictures are replicated on my mobile phone. So cybersecurity is what I am going to use, what kind of devices, and how am I going to use those devices. Protecting my devices also is protecting my information security. I have got some seniors who have told me these instances that credit card, debit card numbers are already saved on mobile phones. The child has the mobile phone in his hand, he is playing, and there is something which pops up and he just presses the button. Yes, because he's bothered. He doesn't want that obstruction when he's playing that game. He says a yes or a no, and he feels like pressing that yes, and then there is some deduction in your bank account. The bills have gone up. He says, how did this bill come? When did I buy this? No, you did not buy this. You had already made provisions that someone will buy it for you. You have stored your credit card numbers, your debit card numbers, and then whenever the query comes up for pops up for buying it, there's someone who presses yes, and then that transaction takes place. So there again, it's like, should I save my such details on my website? Should I save such details on my mobile phone? अरे मेरा मोबाइल फोन में ना मेरा क्रेडिट कार्ड का डिटेल्स है, मोबाइल फोन गुम हो गया, अभी क्या करने का? I have lost all contacts. अरे contacts will get back to you. What happens about those passwords? What happens with the, and believe me, नहीं वो password protected है. Right? Mobile phone passwords. People have broken passwords for many other things. Mobile phone passwords are also easily broken, or they can be cracked. So let's not just rely on these activities. Okay. So that is, I mean, anything related to electronic devices is what perpetrators are looking at in cybersecurity. Whereas information security is purely the day in which I am going to store data. How am I going to capture it? How am I going to protect it from unauthorized access? Username, password, remember, is given to us, and it is not to be put onto the notice board. Is information security. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So, as you mentioned that this is the major difference between information security and what cyber security is. So, okay, before moving ahead, there is one more question from Ganesh sir, that I guess it's high time that people need to delete unwanted applications on their devices as one of the precautionary.
Super statement, sir. Super statement. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And I mean, just convey that to Mr. Shivang. Please convey that to Mr. Kulkarni. That is a super statement that he has made. And I completely agree with him.
And also on the point where you mentioned that people say that their phone is password protected, and there has been there was a recent instance wherein the iPhone 30 there was some hacker who unlocked the iPhone 13 phone within few seconds. So if a system like iPhone can be hacked, then your password is like way much easier for those people to crack. So that's not that is something which we need to look into. One more thing that so you mentioned previously while having a discussion is personal data protection bill. I would like you to please put some light on what personal data protection bill is.
Personal protection data is all your private data, which includes your medical records, your personal data which you provide with the banks, with who are custodians. See, banks are basically custodians. You are the owner. They should get back to you asking if they can share that details with anyone. This is something which the European, I mean, you talk about the GDPR, which the European continent has implemented, but we are still in the proposal stage of putting up a Personal Data Privacy Act. It is still under discussion in the Parliament. And then there is that fine print which is there in the Act of God or in, remember? And then we believe, oh my God, kya picture tha yaar. It has given light to that fine print which we don't read, and we just say okay and we sign it and it goes ahead, which also says that I shall share your data with my alliances and other business units. We don't read that. What if I say no? Am I allowed to say no there and still have a bank account created? That is what I'm talking about. Why is my personal data? Why can I mean the CDRs that are being extracted? Why are the call detail reports that can be extracted? There are people who are infiltrating the bank telephone companies to extract details. I mean, what private investigators do that? actually it should happen only through a judiciary system, right? If they're my private records, why do you want them? Let the court order give me. There is a procedure for that. Why should my medical report be put on display? अरे उसको क्या बीमारी है जाके पूछना, वो दिमाग से कम है क्या थोड़ा सा? Psychologist के पास जाता है. Psychologist is he supposed to, just if I am bound to not disclose information, aren't those professionals also bound to not disclose information? I should not. I mean, authorization letter. Is authorization letter actually enough to say कि नहीं नहीं उसको दे सकता है, वो लेटर अथॉरिटी लेटर लेके आया? अरे वो बैंक स्कूल का मार्कशीट नहीं है, अथॉरिटी लेटर, डुप्लीकेट अथॉरिटी मार्कशीट चाहिए सर, इसलिए मेरा बड़ा भाई आके अथॉरिटी लेटर लेके आएगा, प्लीज उसको दे दो ना सर. स्कूल का मार्कशीट नहीं है. Things can go haywire. Things can create havoc in people's life if such personal data is being put into public display. Why should it be put onto public display? Is what. And the best part is that in India, we are still looking at a proposal for having personal data privacy. Whereas in 2000, yes, maybe a little late, but the European Union has already passed the bill in 2018. It is implemented in 2018 May. It says that any country outside, if they are tackling with data related to the European continent or in the UK continent, it has to get the approval of the owner of that data. Organizations who are planning to take Indian data outside, data which is being operated or managed outside, it has to come in. Why aren't people actually raising a point is the question. That is what data privacy, and we are still in the proposal stage. It is still not implemented. Let me tell you this. Is a classic example. So, I mean, are we late? I don't know. I am not the right person to comment on it. But it should be. I think it should be. I mean, there's no debate about the fact that I'll put a very simple scenario. Shivang, where do you stay?
Virar.
Where in Virar? East, west?
West.
Okay. Where in west? See the number of questions that I am asking you, and the same number of when you are giving your address details to Amazon, when you're giving your address details to Flipkart, you don't blink an eyelid. Don't you think Amazon and Flipkart are capable of disclosing your address? Are we taking precaution about that? I don't know. But when you're talking to Sneha and Sneha starts asking you, you know Sneha for the last 4 years, and she says, "Hey, Shivang, you have changed residences. Where have you stayed?" And you would still reply, Virar West, so and so area. This is the number of questions that she will have to ask. Applications don't ask so many questions, and we still are. Pucha nahi, ye pucha nahi. You should give. You keep giving. You go overflowing with your data, your personal data over there. Yeah.
Very true, sir. Sir, we have one more question from Kulkarni, sir.
Yeah.
In case if the phone gets cloned due to our mistakenly clicking on some link or returning the phishing call Indian number, how would one know it, and what immediate steps one should take with reference to the device?
Immediate steps is that shut down your phone in the first place. Make sure that all your, as I said a little while ago, block any kind of credit cards, any other details that are there which can get associated through your mobile phone. Please block their services there and there itself. Block your number if you can, and report this matter to the cyber cell. That's the best way to do it, Mr. Kulkarni. Yes, I know you have not done it deliberately. Maybe it is not even the intention for you to do it, but these are the things that you, as an individual, you need to be very cautious. Shut down your phone, block it should not be accessible. Your data should not be accessible. Even when you're talking about Bluetooth, basically the objective of Bluetooth is that if my device is not operative, I may not be able to extract data from it unless and until kept it on an open space where it is accessible. Now we are talking cloud. Now we are talking data is on the cloud. Again, cloud security is not unbreakable. Is not unbreakable. So, Mr. Kulkarni, I hope I'm able to answer your queries that are there. I mean, and some of them are really in something which you find on a day-to-day basis.
Sure, sir. So, there's one more thing which you mentioned previously, which is Section 43A of IT Act. IT Act? Is it the same regarding to personal data protection bill, or is it
Yes,
different?
yes, yes. It is going to be mapped with the 43A of the Personal Data Act, and
Okay.
it is talking about fiduciary judiciary, where we are going to be the controllers and the processors. They are going to have a distinct, as I said, there is going to be a data person who owns the data, and there is going to be someone who is going to be a custodian and someone who is going to be processing it. So a processor cannot just pick up the data and give it to you unless and until he has the approval from the owner of the data, is what the process talks about, even through in GDPR.
Sir, as you previously mentioned, background check of employees.
Yes.
Sir, what basically we have to do in doing that background check of employees, and also background check of tenants?
That is something which has even the police have also recommended. If you have gone through, I'm again repeating this, cases reported in the newspapers, cook held for killing elderly couple, cook and accomplice clean up the house, tying up the senior citizens or the family members. Now, how does this happen? Why does this happen? Why are we actually looking at situations where we do not even know, we do not even have their mobile numbers? The person who is working with us, in case we have to contact them in case of emergency, we don't have their mobile numbers. Why not keep details? And they don't, they have a Aadhaar card which is issued to them, they have a mobile number which is issued them. Why can't we do a background check with them? I mean, tenants, you don't know where the tenant has come from. He may have come from a very authentic source that is there, but is there anything wrong in verifying? You mean to say people who have created crimes have not come through authentic recommendations and resources? Yes, judiciary system or the police system has very clearly says that let us know that agreements that you make, get the photographs, get the addresses updated with those people with whom you are making lease agreements. Pehchan ka tha. Why is it important? Is to obviously reduce any kind of crime or any kind of fraudulent activity that is going to happen. You never know who the person is. If you are going to, do you know every tenant that you are going to rent your house in? You will not never know. As for the employees having a verification, uh, it's a sad state, but there are quite a few, there have been instances where uh, people have submitted certificates having replicated the holograms. I'm not talking about the emblems or layouts, but I'm also talking about the holograms that are there, replicating the holograms of reputed institutes and submitting certificates saying that we have completed the course from so and so place, or we have been certified by so and so from so and so organizations, and which they have actually not. In such situations, having the right kind of employees, people, organizations don't want troublemakers. Let's accept it here. Why would you want a troublemaker? I have seen people lose their jobs because they have been associated with trade unions. People have lost jobs because being actively participant with parties or political activities or antisocial elements. Police cases. I mean, when I go in for especially in the IT industry today, when we look at it, there are a lot of resources who have to be sent abroad for consulting assignments and stuff like that. And when you go for a visa application, you realize that there's a police case that is there which restricts him from traveling outside. What happens in such a situation? I am not saying, I mean, you don't know how serious is the police case, how serious is the crime, unless and until acquitted, unless and until you have a proper verdict which says. So, verifications is something which we should follow, should be diligent about it, but it does not happen. Especially with tenants and people when we are leasing our premises to for work as well as for stay. As for employees, I think it is necessary to have the right kind of resources with the right kind of skills in your organizations. People who are loyal, if they are loyal, or rather, if they are true, why shouldn't they be able to give you the right certificates? By giving wrong certificates, they are possibly eating into a eligible candidate's place, right? Isn't that something which can, maybe you and I could lose a job when we are actually an eligible candidate to or the right candidate to be at that place? Am I giving you a satisfactory reply?
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure. Yes, yes, you are definitely. So, I guess majorly we don't have any further questions from the comment section, and neither me and Sneha have further questions for you. It's not a question from our end. There are just two things, sir, which I would like to ask you. The very first one, how can you educate people regarding information security? How can you do that? And secondly, what are the challenges that are being faced to implement information security, to educate people regarding them? And what would be your message to the younger generation which is coming up right now? Because there is a generation which is already we are saying which is not very much used to technology. They are getting attacked by various information attacks. That is completely understandable because you were not knowledgeable about the things. But if the people who are already knowledgeable, youngsters like us, we also fall to many other traps. So how do you educate people regarding information security? What are the challenges and what would be your message to everyone?
See, challenges in the first place is that we need to have an open mind when someone is giving us some kind of information. Uh, it's a very simple message which says that I have been receiving a call from a particular number regarding LIC payments. I am not sure whether this number does not or is not an authentic number. Is a message which I have shared with my group, and I get a reply that why don't you call up that number? See, I'm very well saying that I don't feel comfortable with this number, and it does not talk about the kind of organization it comes from. I think we should be open to each other's uh, drawbacks or unknowns, and be able to exchange information that yes, this has so and so thing has happened, rather than being judgmental. Let me tell you this very important factor which is there. People avoid sharing such kind of data, sharing such kind of information, because of getting publicly shamed. लोग हंसेंगे मेरे पे, भाई अभी तो गलती हो गया है, you can't undo it. We say that learn from somebody else's mistakes, but if someone is not ready to tell us what the mistake was, then how do you expect me to learn? So one thing is that be open to the ideas, be open to discussions that such things are happening. They are there. Put, as what you said, the next generation, and it is not just for the next generation, it is for anyone who everyone has to put some kind of a restraint on what kind of activities I want to involve. I share my numbers, I share my details on social websites, and then I get phone calls, I get obscene messages, and then I blame the system. I can't just point a finger at the system. I need to take my own precautions. If I have to safeguard my identity, then I will have to take necessary precautions. I cannot fall, as what you rightly said, Shivan. It is not just the younger generation, it is the a generation before y'all also, which fall prey to such kind of activities. डिस्काउंट है, स्कीम है, थोड़ा सा 1-2 मिनट देना कह के भाई ये हो सकता है क्या, इज दिस अ पॉसिबल, कैन आई वेरीफाई दिस एंड ओनली fall prey to this. If I want to fall prey to it, give me 2 minutes for myself. जल्दी नहीं है, काहे की जल्दी है पता नहीं मेरे को, बट अरे ये डिस्काउंट है, आई शुड गेट द मैक्सिमम डिस्काउंट, इज वेयर आई रश इन, एंड मे बी आई एम गेटिंग द, someone is getting discounted for something else, is what my query is. So if you are talking about what the generation can do, self restraint, do not click, do not reply, do not indulge in talking to strangers. I really think you need to revisit your Facebook sites, your LinkedIn sites, or any of your social networking sites, and get off people whom you do not know. You may say that I know him for 15 years. Okay. 15 years ago, the gentleman was 10 years old, 15 years old. Today he's 30 years old. Do you know what has happened? What has transpired between it? You haven't spoken to him for 15 years. The only message that you exchanged with him was happy birthday. You think he needs to be on your acquaintance list? I don't know. I'm not very sure. And it is not just you, it implies to me also. I need to go and थोड़ा सा साफ सफाई हम लोग भी कर लेते. We need to be clean and clear with what we want and whom we want, is what, and restrain. It's a complete, the bottom line is restrain is what the magic word is. And my parents used to say that, and that rule still follows. Don't talk to strangers.
Sure. So that is something which each and every parents still now teach. Like whenever I go out, my parents are like, कोई बाहर का मिलेगा तो ध्यान से ज़्यादा बात मत करना उससे. So definitely that is really important. Also, one more thing which I mentioned I failed to mention in the introduction of the while we were starting this event. So we are very lucky to have this session with Sujit Apte sir on information security, and the reason why we kept it during this week was because because there is an self IT awareness program that has been started, cyber security awareness program that has been started by AICT India, and this is a cyber security week wherein we need to educate people, and that was a special reason why we scheduled this session for today, so that we can contemplate as what has been directed by AICT to us. So I guess we don't have any further questions, and if we have some of them, we would like to keep it to us so that we can call you again on this platform and have a further more discussion. Because I guess information security is something on which even if you have talks for a month, and you can still go on there might be n number of examples, there will be n number of cases, there will be n number of things to be discussed, n number of ways in which you can get attacked, n number of ways wherein you can get away from it. So definitely, this is a really vast topic. It was a great insight on what basically information security is, and to give us a general idea about those things. And as I previously mentioned, that we'll like to keep some of our questions to us so that we could invite you again. So I would request now Sneha to please proceed with the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shivang. Firstly, I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Sujit Apte, for taking out time from his busy schedule and providing us with this amazing and very informative session. I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to Shri Sunil Rane, Executive President, Atharva Group, for providing us various platforms like this one for interaction. Ms. Varsha Rane ma'am, Ms. Pallavi Rane ma'am, Trustee, Atharva Group, Dr. R.G. Ratnawat, Director, AIMS, for giving us such a great platform to interact with people and help enhance our knowledge, and also guiding us all in the events and giving his knowledge to bring the best from us. Dr. Shubhilal Agarwal, Director, IQAC AIMS, for connecting us to intellectual capital across the globe and helping us gain so much of knowledge. Last but not the least, I like to thank the torch bearers, our student coordinators, Mr. Piyush Chaudhary for designing flyers and helping in digital marketing, and Mr. Shivang Sharma for coordinating and hosting the show. Without their help and support, this event wouldn't have been possible. Their hard work and willingness to give one and all a pleasant experience has made this program a grand success. We wish to see you all in the next episode of IT Talks with the same enthusiasm. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Atharva Institute for inviting me for this event, and I would look forward for an opportunity to talk to you all, interact with you all again. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much,
Have
sir,
a
for
nice
your
day, and
information.
wishing everyone a happy and a prosperous Diwali coming up. Take care of yourselves.
Wish you the same, sir.
Sure, sir. Wish you the same, and I would also thank Sneha for being an amazing co-host, and I'd also like to thank you for giving us your time and your knowledge, especially as you mentioned that this is a Diwali week and each and everyone is busy with the cleaning process. So I guess each and everyone is busy with that stuff. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you so much, and
Thank
wish
you.
you a very prosperous, happy Diwali to you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.